What's up, everybody? This is your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. Excuse me. Every time I come to Houston, I overestimate. I underestimate and overestimate. Like, oh, I'm gonna just get over here and I'm gonna go over there, and it's gonna be super quick. No problem. This isn't a super quick city. What I do love about Houston, which I can apply to most cities, is no, Houston's bigger than most cities, but you could be in one side of town, and let's say shit ain't going right with you. Let's say you broke up with your man, your dog died, you lost your job. I would strongly suggest you just pick up and move to another side of Houston. Because you could be on that side of Houston and it'd be a whole nother experience. You know what I'm saying? You could pick up and be on that side of Houston and it could be a different, you could be in Katy, whole nother experience. You could move to Pearland and have a whole nother, and you could do that in most cities. Like even me living in Austin, I moved like, I don't know, 8, 9 times in Austin. I lived in Georgetown. I lived in South Austin, North Austin, East Austin. I done moved around, right? And I always tell people, if something ain't going right where you at, move across town, right? Figure out what you like. You know what I'm saying? Brandy's in Atlanta. She know the deal. I had a cousin live in Douglasville. I had a cousin live in Alpharetta. They did not live in the same area, didn't have the same stuff. Moving can be expensive, but not always, right? I think the last couple times I paid a moving truck, it was like $200, $300 for 3 guys in a moving truck. It was like what is it? 3 men in a truck, and they box your stuff up and put it away. Well, they the bigger stuff they could do it. They just wrap it up and they take it home, right? And so moving can sometimes be expensive, but don't let that be your excuse, right? Because that's an excuse to me. That's just well, I can't do it, man. We find Beyonce $2,000 tickets if we got to. We'll find $500 for Beyonce, so you can find $500 to move across town. I assure you. So this show is called October Surprise, 2023, catching the lagging indicators. And you guys have been seeing the community wall today. We've done a ton of posting from my first millions blog, right? YouTube channel. And that's because I want to meet them. Because he spends the rest of the year in Austin, spends his summers in New York. It's a proximity thing. We're gonna meet dag on it. And I'm in Houston, weirdly enough, for a business meeting and also for a fitting of clothes, right? And why is that important, right? Because long story short, I'm going to a bunch of banquets. I have like 20 speaking engagements over the next 6 months. And that's kind of like Ericka rides away, right? In March, but I like having clothes that fit. And not feeling like I'm at an event and the dress I have doesn't fit, the suit jacket I have doesn't fit, the pants I have don't fit. Like it's annoying. And so as we move into new things and new years, we just went ahead and said, hey man, give me 3 suits. I went the Steve Harvey style way. Give me 3 tops and pants that are great, and I will pay for them, and then I will make these interchangeable outfits to oblivion. You know what I mean? Steve Harvey style. So this is not going to be too boring, but I'm going to talk about the money supply and data. And I know everybody, oh my God, Ericka, here you go with the data stuff again. Got to. Now, if you know it's that time of year again, what time is it, y'all? It's that time of year again. I don't think. Oh, no, that's not going to work. I might have to take the background off for a second so y'all can see these books. No, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'm going to take a picture of the planners and put it up on the wall. That's all. I'll just save us all the trouble because nothing you can see. Nothing you can see, right? You're right here. It's just a white wall in the hotel room. So, long and the story short, let's go. Let's go. This is one of the first. Let me take this off the screen though. And again, you're going to see me for the next 365 days promoting affiliate marketing and this $7 of freedom link. You're going to see it often. Get familiar with it. You're going to get tired of seeing it, but you'll get over it. Okay, let's go on to the next. Now, what's the setup for this? Long and story short, this comes from My First Million, the podcast. And long and story short, this is what a billionaire did. And a lot of times people say, oh man, I'm sick of hearing about billionaires, Ericka. I just want to hear about regular, everyday people. And this is what I want y'all to understand is part of the reason in moving to Austin was being in the spearhead of tech, right? You're around tech. And really the only difference between you and the average tech guy who's in these startups and who's in these investments is they're just in the room. They're making 100K to 300K a year and they're in the room. So if a guy has an idea and he's pitching it, they're in the room, right? The guy said, what do you think about this? Well, how can I make this better? They're in the room. One of the best things one of the guys said in a couple of the shows were, um, he did, the guy called him on the phone. He's like, "Hey man, I got this idea. I want to pitch you. Tell me what you think." And he said, "Write these 2 words down, okay, and put it on a sticky note and put it on your computer." And so the guy's like, "Yes, he's ready for the knowledge." And he goes, "Facebook ads." I was like, "What?" "Facebook ads. Put FB ads and put it on your computer. Put it on right there. Put the little sticky tab right there on your computer." He said, "Okay." He said, "Every time you think to call me with a new idea or anybody, you don't call them till you're making half a million a month, $500,000 a month in sales from your Facebook ads. Because if you're not putting skin in the game and you're not showing where the business can actually thrive and have an actual legit business, then why are you calling me? This is just an ideal, right? This isn't a business. This is an ideal." And I love that because so many times people say, "Well, Ericka, I have this great ideal and I would do it, but it costs money and you need to sign this NDA if you want me to hear about it." I'm like, "Baby, I'm not staking your ideal. Ideals are nothing. We have millions of ideals out there. Execution is everything, right?" And people get mad about that, but that's just a part of the game. And part of our conversation we're going to be talking about is the monetary supply and why people keep saying, "Well, I'm trying to watch out for the recession." And I laugh because they don't understand how businesses work, and two, how really all the data you're looking at today, really you need to be looking at 9 months to 18 months behind you. But before we get in all that, let me show this first clip. I'm probably show them both. Get it over with. This is what someone did during 2020 pandemic. The guy had millions of dollars invested with VC companies and just companies all over, right? Businesses. And what would happen? He's like, "Oh my God, they might all start paying us late. Everybody might start getting behind. That might cost us $5 to $10 million. That would suck. Let's see, right? Let's put options in the market." Again, when people talk about options, they kind of get the cringe on their face. They think it's like some slick, fast stuff. And again, I'm sitting here telling you the best thing you could do is invest in yourself would be going to Diamond Dave's live training October 21st, Atlanta, Georgia. Go over to his page. He's literally, I think he sells the last set of tickets like October 7th, because literally this is what people who are billionaires are doing, right? You're thinking, "Well, I don't have no money." Okay, pay attention. Pay attention. Here we go.
20. So we started freaking out about COVID. We're a little bit early on it. Chris and I locked down kind of like late January or early February. And if you remember, everyone was kind of saying like, "Oh, this might be a bit of a nothing burger," up until March 1st or 2nd or 3rd, kind of in that zone. And so what we ended up doing is we're doing these stress tests and we're looking across all of our businesses. And at the time, a lot of our revenue came from our agency businesses. And we had these large Fortune 500 customers, but we're going, okay, what's the first thing all the Fortune 500s do? They pay everyone late. And so we're looking at, okay, we're going to get some late payments that's going to cause cash flow issues. We might also have some of our startup clients go out of business and they might just not pay us. And so we started looking at what is the number there that we want to insure. And it was like 5 or 10 million bucks, where we were like, okay, these are all companies that may just not pay us. We might, lose that revenue. And if that's the case, we're going to have a bad year. We're not going to have liquidity. And so what we did is we basically said, okay, in late February, we said, okay, if the S&P 500, the index of the 500 largest companies in America, goes down by 20%, we will get a big payout. And so we bought for $500,000 put options that went out about a year. So if any time in the next year the market dropped that much, we would get a large payout. And the idea is it's kind of like buying an insurance policy on your house, right? You pay this premium, you put the money out, and you hope that you just pay that premium and nothing bad happens. But if your house burns down, they'll give you $5 million to rebuild it. And so what ended up happening is we bought these put options. They went from being worth $500,000 to $7 million all of a sudden. And Chris and I are like laughing our asses off. Never bought put options, never been through this or whatever. So they go to $7 million and we're like, holy shit, this is amazing. Let's sell them, right? And so we sell them, we cash in, we take $7 million onto our balance sheet. And then we look at each other and we go, well, this could be the worst recession of all time. Are we the guys who just sold our insurance policy? Like, should we keep holding this? What if this is 1929 and the stock market's really going to go down 50%? And the whole point of this is to have this insurance policy and sleep well at night. Now we don't have it. And so we take all the money, except for 500 grand. We took 500 grand out. We took all the money and we rebet it, and we lost everything because the Fed came in and the markets rebounded. Now, there's two ways to look at that story. One is we got hit with gambler's fallacy. Let's go in. We'll do one last.
Okay. I just had to share that with you. Go watch the rest of that interview on your own time. It's asking a billionaire investor how to prepare for economic collapse. Why do I like this particular podcast? Because one of the guys came from St. Louis, and I have this thing about Midwest people who go and make it big. And he went to San Francisco, and he got to San Francisco, and he was so pissed because he literally was like, I never knew what a Stanford was. I never knew what all these different things, like these hedge funds and these startups, and never knew what they were. No one never told me in St. Louis. And so then he made some money in San Francisco. Then he went to New York. And I think he's in his like 40 to 42. I'm not going to lie. I can't remember his exact age of not that guy that was just talking, but the host. You'll see in a second. And his wife is Black, and she's just turned 30. So yes, she's about 10, 11 years younger than him. And they do half their time in Austin, most of their time in Austin, and the summers in New York. And so their podcast is very interesting because not only does he talk about himself, but he talks about another kid who came out of St. Louis who's a billionaire now. So sometimes people say, well, Ericka, it's not like that because I'm in Mississippi, I'm in Louisiana, I'm in Florida, I'm in Virginia, I'm in West Virginia. And the way this internet has worked for people is it doesn't matter where you are. And using the excuse of, it's because I live here, or no, my mommy and daddy didn't tell me, or, you have to be almost stink leg determined. And what I realize is in this transitional season where I'm going to banquets, I'm going to some golf charity events, I'm getting fitted for clothes, I'm changing up some things, I'm getting alignment back, I'm getting back to where I really wanted to be, investing in companies and doing stuff. Now that I have some things straightened back out and close out, I'm like, oh yeah, this is why I wanted to do it, for the love of it, right? Like the love of it. And that even these guys that everybody thinks so smart just lost $7 billion because what? Greed, being stupid. Yeah. Everybody in the comments, leave the casino. Greed's the worst. Yeah. Right. You put for $500,000 into something and you get 7 million, you walk away. You won. That's it. You're done. And I would like to give a thank you to a Hope Inspired. Thank you for the super chat. I mean, the Cash App. She just sent $25. Thank you. I appreciate it. We will get a taco on you. Yes, we will do it. And so let me go to the next one, because I think a lot of times people paint these people as like magnificent Marvel giants, and they really aren't. They're just people who are taking action, and they're not full of fear, right? So let's go on to the next. And this is when people talk about angel investors and service businesses. I don't know if Solid Steps to Wealth is in here, but service businesses. You'll see a clip here with this.
But what I've over time started to realize also is and it goes back to kind of why we want to start so many of these companies. Investing in other people's companies is great. And obviously the power law takes over. And when that occurs, it's an amazing, and angel investing can be really profitable. But actually you're much more likely to be able to take, $50,000, $100,000, start a business and get to like $1 million in revenue and throw off $500,000 to $700,000 in profit year after year after year, and do it with like a very high degree of probability of success. And so in some way, like, what's better than angel investing in other people's ideas? It may actually be just like angel investing in your own ideas or your own companies. And so that's really where I've been focused, is like, yes, I will still on occasion invest in other companies, but now I want to start these businesses. And I look at it as, what is the competitive advantage? We have capital, but we also have distribution. And so if you have capital and distribution, you basically just need like a decent idea, and you need an absolute killer operator. And if you can find those two things, combine it with the capital and distribution, you got a good chance of being able to make some money.
Okay, so you see the Sam Parr guy is the guy I was talking about. Original speculist. That guy is.
All right, we got an episode here with Anthony Pompliano, who you may know as the Bitcoin.
And I want you to hear the rest of for another minute, really, just for another minute. I want you to hear the rest of that. But I want you to understand what did he just say? A lot of times I'm sitting here telling y'all like, we bought on Michael Sneed, all these different people that, hey, you start a particular roofing company, you start a handyman service company, you start some of these companies, and you literally just bought some vans, some logos, spent some Facebook ads for marketing the company, and hired a manager and 2 young guys to work the business. That business is going to make $1 to $2 million a year, because that's just usually the consistency of that level of business. And a big thing with Grant Cardone, if you notice, Grant Cardone's been marketing to these HVAC companies and to land care companies, because what happens is people have been doing that $1 million grand gross number every year, but 9 times out of 10, they're in the business cutting grass. They're in the business doing the plumbing. They're in the business doing the roofing. They're in the business doing that, right? And so what ends up happening is people burn out, right? Oh, I'm tired of doing it. Or they have a bad season, or they break a hip, or they fall, whatever, right? Something happens and they kind of walk away from it, even though it's an easy meal, right? Chris Rude, and I may pull his link up on Instagram. He basically is like, I don't know how to change brakes, but I own 4 mechanic shops, right? And he owns these oil change brake places because he's like, they make guaranteed money. X amount of cars in a city, X amount of people need their oil change, X amount of brakes need to be done. It's like guaranteed money. He doesn't know how to fix a brake. And so I think we overlook service businesses as options. But I always want to put that in your head is like, some people say, well, Ericka, I'm not in tech. I'm not making 100 to 300,000 a year, and I can't throw off, money to these startups or these investment VC options because I'm not invited to the party, or I'm not golfing, or I'm not like you. I'm not going to a banquet. I don't even like going to all the banquets, but some of them are cool. You know what I mean? Like I went to one and everybody's dressed up in black and black tuxes and everything, and they actually started doing the Cupid Shuffle. It's quite funny because most people didn't have any rhythm there, but it was funny. And so you still can win, right? If you're someone who is good at delegating or in a management position and you had this 50K, a lot of people aren't looking at owning a lawn care company, owning an HVAC company, owning a roofing company, owning a duct cleaning business, because that seems boring to them and it's blue collar. But what they forget is a lot of young men out here like hands-on jobs. They like working with their hands. They like an easy job at 18 to 25 years old. And when they get about 30, 35, then they'll decide if they want to do something else if there's no upward movement in your company. But it works because it works. So I'm going to let you hear a little bit more, just maybe like a minute, and then I'm going to cut it.
Guy, he's huge all over YouTube, Twitter, everywhere else. He came on. We're actually going to do this as a 2-part episode because at the beginning, it was all business. We were business in the front. We were talking about this crazy $1 million Balaji bet where he's betting that Bitcoin is going to $1 million in the next 90 days. We talk about that, why Balaji thinks it, what we think about the bet. And Pomp does a, Econ 101 where he explains what's going on with the banking system from his perspective. That was good. And
but here's the thing, though. In that episode, the whole episode is about something that's going to happen inside the next 90 days. So if you're going to it is a little fearful listening to it. And so actually listen to the whole thing and do it now, because we're talking about something that's happening in 90 days. And then go ahead. The second episode was way more fun and it was pretty wild. Go ahead.
We talk about his business empire, what he's building and why he's building it that way, why he gave back all the money from his fund and shut that down, why
it's huge,
turned off all his advertisers, millions of dollars of advertisers, what he's doing instead. So we talked about that. And then we talked about then it went off the wall, and the pod got a little crazy, but in a great way. I think you're gonna love part 2.
He broke down all of his businesses and how they work. It's very impressive. It was pretty wild. He's impressive. He's significantly more impressive than a lot of people think, I think, because there's way more behind the scenes.
Pretty funny stories, which Pomp is he's pretty
Okay. Let me get out of there. So go watch that on your free time. I've shared a couple of those inside the chat wall, the community wall for YouTube. And I think we're going to kind of lean more heavy towards more business information in the next couple of weeks. And one of those reasons is my younger nephew came across my YouTube page and the community wall, and he's like, "Who's making fun of you?" I said, "What are you talking about?" He's like, I saw on your YouTube someone's being mean to you. And I was like, oh no. So we've gotten to this space where our young family members are starting to watch and read and see some of the commentary. And so we're just kind of clean it up the next couple of weeks. We're just going to be a little bit more cleaned up. And also I'm doing business things. And so I don't want people to think this is all me being sarcastic all the time. So anyway, along the story short, did y'all understand what was said there? Do y'all know who Anthony Pompeo is? If you don't, I'm going to give you a quick recap. Anthony Pompeo, and again, I'm saying his Italian name wrong. He, when COVID just started, and it was like March 2020, and they were like, New York was the first to be like, get home, go home, everybody, right now. So him and his girlfriend in their New York apartment, which wasn't big at the time, started this daily lunch, like, stock market lunch, right? And if you were kind of a stock market person, which I was watching it and I was like, that's cool. This kid's in New York. He clearly is some type of financial advisor, knowledgeable, and he threw that money into Bitcoin and he just hit, he hit at the right time. He was perfect on his analysis. And this is part of why I want to tell y'all about data, right? And then again, I spilled soda all over my notebook and I'm like air drying it with my hand while we're waiting. But I'm going to read the notes because I can still see them. And then it just went crazy. Like his daily lunch, it rivaled that of Yahoo Finance and the daily stock shows that you see on TV. It was like went crazy. He eventually went down to Miami, right? Because again, what did most New Yorkers do? They were just absolutely tired of being locked down all damn year long. They were like, I got to get out of here. And him and his girlfriend got married. So it was pretty funny. It was like cool to see the transition and the growth via someone's YouTube. And people make fun of YouTube. And I shared a link on the community wall of 7 creators who have $50 million companies. And most people go, well, they're just doing YouTube. No, these guys are having $50 million come out of supplement companies, come out of so many things. And I wish you guys could understand it, right? In how Anthony Pompeo, Anthony Pompeo's crypto, Joe Pompeo sports money, right? And if you guys could see that some of these guys, it's luck, it's timing, but a lot of it is just knowing data. And so I'm going to go over a couple things just so you guys can help yourself in the conversations with your family in the coming year, because you may be saying, hey, I'm doing this affiliate marketing, and your family may be like, why are you doing that? Right. And to give you this kind of grasp on knowledge. Okay. And so here we go. The money supply has been shrinking since April last year. And most people are like, oh man, the grocery bills and things are getting expensive. And I go, blame that on last year, right? It's not this year, it's last year, right? I don't know if you've been paying the news of Canada, because we're not Canadian. We don't care sometimes. Canada has had some harsh, terrible things happen the past year and a half. And it's like, basically, if you're poor and disabled, you can pay for euthanasia. Awful, right? Awful healthcare policy. The average Canadian's waiting 6 months for a healthcare appointment, and people run around saying, I wish we were Canadian and we could get free healthcare. And I'm like, people are so uneducated. It's disgusting, right? Because they don't even know. Like, if you know anything about Chicago, the overfill at the hospitals aren't the illegals. It ain't the Chicago kids gangbanging. It's the Canadians. Same thing in Detroit. Detroit hospital, people think Detroit is all car and manufacturing, but they actually make a ton of money in their healthcare system because so many Canadians just take a flight, drive their car while they don't feel good, and come over to Detroit hospitals, come over to Canada, come over to Chicago, come over to all those edge places, Seattle, Washington, from Vancouver. That's a part of the industry, how they make so much money, because the Canadian healthcare that everybody thinks is so great is not great, period. Okay. And so when you look at the money system, you have to go back and look 9 months before to 18 months. What was happening 9 to 18 months before? Because that's where the real data is. That's where the real information is. That's where the real money is. And so today I was had this thing listening to, again, another old economist talking about this algorithm app that trades for you. And a lot of people say, Ericka, I would never let a bot trade for me. And here's why we dismiss AI, but we shouldn't. Inside is a lot of text mining. I'm going to try to explain this the best way possible. Text mining is an app, right? It's an AI software. It's the best way I'm going to explain this. And all it does all day long is it's searching for bullish words and bearish words. And what's an example of bearish words? Rate hike, okay? A bullish word is recession. So this AI scrubbing, text mining thing that's just all day long, because there's on the hour, every hour, there's data all over the internet. There's articles all over the internet happening every day. It in turn tells the app, tells the software, trade this stock now, buy this stock now, sell this stock now. And so when people sit here and go, oh, Eric, I don't have time to do stock market, I don't have to, honey, they already got apps and they've got AI that's already, telling the software. Now, of course, I'll just go here. Software is not always going to beat people, right? Because if you're a person, you're just like this guy, this young man, the billionaire, who's like, let's put $500,000 down and see if the S&P drops 20%. That was a gut feeling. This was February 2020. He didn't know that. Right. Just like, Todd Milley and several people, the reason Todd Milley made so much money is he bet big that the airlines, the cruise ships, and some other hospitality services would go back up. So he had these long, trades, however you want to say it. I'm not your tech. I'm not your stock person. And what ended up happening is when they all came back, he just put so much money deep into these stocks while they were down, while the airlines were down, shut down, while the hotels were shut down, while everybody's on lockdown. When it came back up, boom, juicy money, right? And so this is why data is important. And I kind of always joke about the revenge of the nerds, because it is one of those things of, see, if you come in here being silly, I'm going to go ahead and block you. You're in timeout now. I don't have time for that. Stay focused on the come in, say, hey, what's up, your city and state, like the video. That's it, right? I'm going to start being like Andy Griess. Don't be a hoe. Share the show. Pay the fee. It's just a like. The likes are free, okay? Don't be a hoe. Share the show, okay? Keep it moving. And so what happens is you have to understand, like the revenge of the nerds comment, what I'm talking about is now I see it, right? And once you know your audience, once you know the people you're marketing to, once you kind of get a grasp on Facebook ads and advertising, you literally can just create products for them, right? Prime example is Daily Wire makes $100 million a year. $100 million a year. Okay. And part of what happened is it Danny's Razors? I hate to say it wrong. I think it's Danny's Razors was a big supporter of their show, one of their biggest sponsors. Well, they, Dave, Ben Shapiro, he said, boys are boys and girls are girls, right? To that degree. And they said, we don't support, Ben Shapiro. We're going to take all our advertising dollars from him. And you know what he did? He created a thing called Jeremy's Razors. And they literally made $20 million the first freaking 9 months in existence. And so when these companies go, well, I'm going to just do this. When I sit here and tell you these creators, these YouTube podcast creators can turn around and go, oh, you're going to do that? Well, I'm going to just take all my business away from you. I'm just going to go partner with people and create products and services that my audience will love. And this is why when people kind of downplay YouTube, I laugh. You don't want to be a pioneer, right? Unfortunately, I'm a part of YouTube part 2 because pioneers kind of suffer. We like, oh man, we make all the mistakes. Algorithm forgets about us. A fast follower is someone who kind of comes in on the speed, right? Which was new channels that get created, company channels that got created in like 2020. They kind of got to take off more. Now on this end for me, I'm more of, okay, how much do I got to spend ad wise? How much Facebook ads I got to run? I got to get back to the company aspects. The Ericka from business school would have been like, you know what you need to do. You need to run ads. You need to do this. You need to do that, right? We already know ultimately what we need to do, right? And so that's where this is going. And so Anthony Pompeo, and something I really want you to get to understand really thickly in your head, everybody wants to do syndications and partnerships and everybody, let's raise all this money together, which group funding and group economics can be good. I don't want to be disrespectful. A lot of these startup companies, that's how they made their money. That's how they got started. But there is this side of it where it's just not even worth the headache, right? If you're chasing it for the money, you're going to lose enjoyment because companies and people and shareholders expect a certain amount. If you didn't watch the Big Short or Margin Call or Dumb Money, please go watch those. Please take some time out this week. Go watch them. And if you see like what ends up happening is all these shareholders want particular types of returns. And so if you don't give them these returns, they go be a-holes to you. and now you're sitting here trying to be like, no, wait, I know it's going to turn around. I know it's going to get back. Just relax. And that's unfortunately what ends up happening to a lot of these people who make these companies. And so that's why Anthony Popeo was like, bump it. I'm making 5-10 million a month in advertisers. I'll cut them all today. I know how to get around it, right? People don't have to put up with anybody or anything. Really, they can go make money. And if you listen to what he says, like there's 3 guys. I'll have to go find the podcast and I'll share it on the community wall. This guy owns 4 service companies. You know what, John? I didn't go watch Expendables. I didn't watch it, John. We end up watching Dumb Money that night. So I haven't seen the Expendables. I'm not hearing great things about it, but it's one of those things you kind of just watch and you toss it. And so what happens is when you start realizing that, like the young man I was watching, he was like, how do y'all make $1 million a year? He's like, oh, I have like 4 service companies. Really? Tell me about it. He's like, oh, they're really boring. You know, they're this, they're that. Like one's like carpet cleaning, one's of this, like, and they were really very generic companies. And this is something when people complain about, oh, it's so hard to get a job, or there are people like me, and there are people who are like, how can I get a guaranteed company that's going to make $1 million a year? Oh, just start a handyman company. Go start a HVAC company. Go start a roofing company. Go start a carpet cleaning company. You got the money for the advertisement for your Facebook ads to run, so you're not doing it word of mouth. You're immediately going to literally, this is how we started. This is how we roll it. Got a good operator in there, good manager, and good staff, and we're off to the races. And every time I go to Apex, every time I go into these type of, boys' rooms, it's usually just men who are like, I just felt I could do it. 9 times out of 10, it's just people like, I just felt I could do it. I had a $20K credit card and I just did it. And that's why I want you guys to like let go of some of that fear. And I understand some people like, hey, I don't want to use my credit, Ericka. Cool. I'm with you. That's why you see me promoting affiliate marketing and promoting different affiliate marketing and running ads to those products and services, because I know I could go run up 4 or 5 mil with that, then take that money and put it, again, I talked to you about that yesterday. What is it in game for most people? Take 4 to 5 million, make sure you're getting anywhere from 5 to 10% returns on your money. And now you got 15 to 25K in reoccurring passive income coming in every month. And at that point, you're just old money. You're just reviewing your investments. At that point, that's all you're doing. You're sitting down in your office at your house, reviewing your investments, reviewing your staff, and that's it, right? This is why people love YouTube so much. They can come in here, hop on a camera, go crazy with it, right? Build up an audience, and then forever sell to that audience, or forever educate that audience, or forever introduce new people to that. You know what I mean? Literally what I just said. What did I just say? It doesn't matter if you had bad credit. We talked about it on the previous show. Fuck credit. We don't give credit, ain't bad, credit ain't shit, right? Literally, you can go build up affiliate marketing almost for free. Literally, you're just creating the social media pages, right? That's all you're doing. But that's it. Like most business owners, like I showed y'all data during the funding training, the average business owners, right? The average business owner is got a 611 credit score. That's why the SBA was so shocked when people didn't sign up, when people signed up for the PPP loans, and then they couldn't get people to do the EIDL loans because they told you off the rip, yeah, you got to have a 675 credit score. So people just were like, I know I ain't got that. I ain't gonna do it. Well, then they said, okay, we're going to drop it to 620, and they still couldn't get business owners. They were like, what's going on? So then that's when you start getting all those phone calls where people are blowing up people's phones like, hey, you own a business? You want an EIDL loan? And nobody was signing up for it because they knew the average business owner credit wasn't like that. And a lot of the business owners, even with bad credit, could get vendor credit. They could get food, supplies, all kind of stuff they need for their company to run. Lowe's cards, Home Depot cards, Sherwin-Williams paint, commercial credit, without having great credit, right? So that's something I want to tell you about right there. Okay. So let me go here. 3 things to success. Again, Grant Cardone did a great little how to make yourself 10x, right? How to get to billions. He's like, every time you see that word M for millions, mark out the M and put a B for billions, right? And so that's more for those higher level business people, but it just trying to get you to do a higher level math. And so 3 things I took from that earlier today was admit you don't know, $1 billion path, and collaboration and partnerships. And so if you don't know, he's getting ready to be ridiculous. He's going to have 10x farm and ranch, 10x golf, 10x healthcare, which is already out there, 10x HVAC, 10x everything, right? It's going to be ridiculous. But what happens is Grant is taking like 1% market share out of all these thousands of businesses, right? When you partner with the Cardone Ventures or you partner with certain of the parts of his company, they get 1% of all these businesses, right? And so that is millions of dollars, right? So that's that. Let me keep on going. Okay, so Malcolm Gladwell just like let go of like 400 people from his company. And I don't know if you know who Malcolm Gladwell is, but he talks about outliners. He's the man who wrote the book Outliners. And he has a podcast company where basically they help podcasters, they help grow them, they help run ads. And it's kind of like that canary in the coal mine. The last thing anybody ever wants to do is fire people. And you're going to say, why, Ericka? Why would that be the last thing? Now, many people will tell you online, oh no, shareholders want you to fire people and they just get rid of people because it's the easiest thing to do. No, firing people is the last thing you want to do before you see a real recession. And why is that? Because if I've got 100 people in the office, and I know everybody want to work from home, if I've got 100 people in the office and they're all doing but 20% worth of work, you know what I'm saying? 40% worth of work. It's still 100 people chopping away at one tree, right? If their goal is to call 100,000 people, you got 100 people in the office. That's going to get done in 1 week, right? And so that's kind of the sentiment of it, okay? And so that's a kind of canary in the coal mine as far as, again, I told y'all the other day, 600 Waffle Houses had closed. It's a big thing. And October is always something. October, they call it the October surprise because if it's an election year, they drop something crazy at the last minute and it takes up all the news cycle. If it's the stock market, it's always like a late rally, then there might be a little crash. This year is going to be some funny business because our country wants the Christmas to be strong. Next year going to be a shell show. Next year going to be a shit show. It's going to be the election. It's going to be gases as high as a camel's forehead. It's going to be food. It's going to be crazy because, again, what I tell you, 9 to 18 months. If you guys go back 9 to 18 months, what was going on? We had multiple food processing companies burned to the ground mysteriously. We had over, I think, 100 farms that are some of the biggest farms in America with like 10,000 cows at them. Mysteriously, just the cows fell over and died and farm fires took over the place. And so all these things are that 9 to 18 month range. And I'm never here to scare you guys, but I'm always here to like let you understand that like the guy or girl who has a farm and the future, right? The future is like, oh, I don't know. But the guy or girl who has a farm, by the time you think as, hey, I heard Ericka say this, I'm going to go look up a farm at Christmas time, he's already sold out till next summer. Because trust me, that's what I'm going through right now. I'm already like reaching out to farmers and even my friend, and I'm like, hey, put me down for a cow. They're like, them cows is already reserved. What you talking about? Like, even the person I know that has lambs, I'm like, what's up? Them lambs are already reserved. Right? They already got contracts on them. They already got situations. They've already spent X amount of money on feeding them. That money's already in the future. them meats is gone. Okay. The chickens is gone. The steaks is gone. And so when I go to my local farmer market, they're big on handing you their business card, not just so you can tell your friends and family, but so you can call them directly like, hey, I need this. There's a lady who gets fish and she's like, you got to let me know before we leave. Because we drive, we have our coast people bring stuff from the coast. Then we put it in our where where our refrigerators are, and then we come straight to the farmers markets. We do Saturday here, Sunday here, and Friday here. So by the time I get here on Sunday, I'm out of redfish, and redfish is the most popular fish they hunting in Texas waters in Galveston, right? And so what happens is people think, oh yeah, I got time. Food is readily available everywhere. No, right? The reason I talked about Canada is now your loony prime minister up there, his crazy self is trying to copy France. France is like, we're going to put a cap on the food prices. You can't do that in France. France is a food basket for so many countries. They will sell that food to other places and they will not sell it to France, and France will have more rioting in the streets. Just telling you now, if you have wanted to go to Paris, if you want to go to Lyon, you better go before next summer. This is why I tell y'all this, not to scare y'all, but like, The data is from 9 to 18 months ago. And now you have these presidents acting mad like, hey, get them prices under control. Well, I'm going to tell you like this. If I tell you in France, you can't sell that for more than $1 and it costs you $1.20 to get it, how often do you think you're going to put that in your store? You're not. That's why when people say, oh, France has so much fresh food and Germany and all these places have so much fresh food, I'm like, yeah, because they were getting it from Ukraine. But what's going on with Ukraine right now? Okay. Then on top of that, they were getting it from certain other countries. And France is one of the ones they get it from. And France is tripping right now. So when people talk about, I'm going to Europe next year, Eric, I'm going to live overseas. And I'm like, cool. I'm going to Croatia, and I'm going to Europe too for a good 2-month window. But I'm going at a certain time frame because it's before the data hits that they're going to be real light on food. Because see, if you pay attention to the news in Africa, okay, you've been paying attention to the news on Africa, Africans are complaining because they're sending so much food to Europe. If you pay attention to the Nigerian airport, they are full of people going, I got to get up out of here because it's about to be ugly. You know what I'm saying? It's about to be ugly. Okay. And so when I sit here and tell y'all this stuff, I'm not doing it to scare you. I'm doing it as a recommendation for you to kind of figure out where you want to go. So I'm getting in alignment myself as far as some of the companies and things people have pitched to me, and some of the things we're investing in. You dig what I'm saying? How about that? I'll put it to you like that. Now back to what I was saying about Canada. The Canadian prime minister is like, you guys better get this price under control. Now, what's been going on in Vancouver for over 10 years now? 86% of all the properties being bought in Vancouver have been bought by Chinese investors. And Chinese people are trying to get over too. You know, they're not really just cutting across our border to get in America. They're going all the way to Canada. They have a lot of illegals in Canada. So much so that every once in a while, we'll know when Canada's starting to flex on the illegals, they'll come to America. So New York had an influx of all these Africans. And this is why they was mad at Obama. Obama was rounding them Africans up and sending them on out. And so what they were doing was run back to Canada, and Canada be like, cut it out. No, don't run back over here. You went to America. But it's like this tag, right? We talk about our southern border a lot, but our northern border be jumping too. And so if the prime minister is now trying to be like France, Canada is not a breadbasket. Canada has a lot of fish. They do a lot of fishing. I don't know if you guys know that about Canada. They do a lot of fish, but you know, this one economist was like, y'all better get y'all self together in Canada. Y'all gonna be having to hunt moose every weekend. You know what I'm saying? And they mean that. They 100% mean that, right? I remember telling y'all when I was in the pandemic, and it was like, was it 2020? Was it 2021? No, it was the end of 2020, and we were down in Miami. Was it the summer? I felt like it was. We went with AM1. Go back and look at that old video. And there was a Canadian guy there, and he was just staring off, and he looked a little sad. We're like, hey, man, you all right? And he said, I just fled from Canada. And we're kind of laughing on the boat, thinking like, okay, that's a little bit dramatic, don't you think? You know, COVID must got you sad. He was like, no, me and my partner, you know what I'm saying? He had a partner. He said, we took our biggest suitcases we could take, and we put as much clothes as we could, and we took our dog to the airport, and they were not going to let us through the airport. They were like, you didn't have this particular paper done. And he was like, we're not leaving our dog, you know? And so because they had already left their bigger dog with his family, and they got on the plane, and they were crying the whole plane ride because they were basically leaving. They weren't going to come back. They didn't pay their apartment or nothing. They packed all their stuff up and put it at their parents' house. And their parents are like, what are you going? Where are you going? He's like, we're leaving to America. He's like, they're not going to let you go through because Canada was not letting people leave. And he had the ticket to Scaling with Systems to show he was going to a conference because they were like, these bags are too big. Why are these bags so big? What do you have in them? And they were literally escaping. And so people think like, oh, Ericka, you're being dramatic. But I'm like, this man was crying on a boat, y'all. And he was like, it's so beautiful down here, but I'm so sad because my parents are older. And I said, well, you're gonna have to go back at some point. You're gonna have to, because you fill out a piece of paper at that point in time in Canada. I don't know if y'all remember this. This ain't that far ago. You had to give them your credit card when you came back into Canada. And if they tested you for COVID, and then they put you in a hotel for 72 hours on your dime until it showed you were negative, and they tested you one more time and it showed you were negative, and then you could go home. If it showed you were positive, they put you in a hospital at your expense. And so I remember our friends, the guy's from Alaska, the wife is from Canada. Her mother came down because this is her first baby. She's got 5 children. Most of them live in the United States. There's only 2 that live in Canada. And she was like, I have to leave. And her husband's like, no, we can't afford it. She's like, my youngest daughter is having her first baby. I will be damned if I stay in Canada and my child, something happens to her or I don't ever see this baby. I'm leaving. So she leaves. And then like, she was just stuck. She was like, her husband was like, I don't have extra money right now. So if you get to the counter and they swipe my card for 2,000, we'll be in the hole. So she literally waited for him to work extra overtime because he's a driver. And he's like, okay, I have enough money now. You can fly back now. Because even our friends, Mike was like, well, we'll pay y'all. We'll give you, 2,000. And he was very insulted. He's a very Canadian man. He's like, no, we don't want your money. You just had a baby. And so this stuff, like when people act like COVID was all like, y'all being dramatic. No, I don't forget none of that. I don't forget none of the people that turned their back on their neighbors. That was like, yeah, lock everybody up in their home. I don't forget none of that mess. I remember how dirty y'all did people. And I'm going to keep remembering. Because there are people's lives that were affected greatly by that mess. And so I'm just in a position where I'm like, all this information is lagging. When you talk about housing, that's 3 months old data. It's hard to get accurate, like last 30 days accurate. Even when they tell you about, all these mortgage loans, they're not accurate. It takes a good 60 days for y'all to get all that data from them mortgage brokers. So all this information you have is lagging. All this data you have is lagging. And the last thing people want to do is lay off people. That's when you know it's a little funky. Okay. Yes, she's from Canada. The daughter is from Canada. I'm not from Canada. I lived in Alaska, but I live here in the United States. But Canada is about to get real wild. And I think a lot of people are kind of poo-pooing when I'm talking about Canada when you about to have a bunch of Canadian neighbors come in and not leave. You about to have a bunch of German neighbors come and not leave. Right. So when people try to act like Canada isn't important, that's not a good way to be. So let me go to the next one I had 2 more notes, but my paper's wet, y'all. My paper's wet. So let me answer some of y'all questions and get out of here because this paper is like done. This paper's done for. Canada is so expensive. Yeah, for real. Like, I remember they did a street interview of a guy from Jamaica, and he was like, he was in Canada for 12 years. It was so expensive. He went home to Jamaica for 7 years, made enough money, came back and bought 2 houses in Canada. And he's like, all that time I wasted in Canada. And in my head, I'm like, why'd you go back to Canada? You could have went to America anywhere, but you spend 12 years somewhere you love it, probably. Most of the world's grain comes from Ukraine. Most of the world's fertilizer comes from Russia. It's going to get worse. Yeah, people completely ignore that fact. And that's why I'm looking at them like, all right, okay. Y'all keep ignoring that if you want to. That's on your own time. What's up, Detroit, Hollywood? She said North Hollywood. Richmond, Virginia, Houston's very spread out. Like the 2 places I got to go tomorrow, they're like, I had to Google map to make sure I caught it. Let me see here. You stay in a place too long, they bury you, honey. I'm telling you, change is good. Like I love watching the 1984 version of Dune all the time. Like I watch it once a week. I'm a stop line. I watch about twice a week, and I just have it playing in the background while I'm working. But it's like, Father, the sleeper must awaken. And the father's like, he's like, why are we leaving? We got it good here. We the king of this little country. Why are we leaving? He's like, there's something in you that sleeps when you do not move, when you do not challenge yourself. And so, it's just a wild time. Listen, Journey to Jasmine, these little fabrics. I mean, I'm talking about the quality of the fabric, the quality of the pants. I'm always complaining because I'm not short, but I'm 5'7". So I'm like, when they say tall pair of pants for women, it's like 5'8", 5'9". So it's like, I always have to get my pants tailored at the bottom. I'm so excited. Y'all don't even know how excited I am to go get this fitting tomorrow. It's like, it's worth the money because you're going to put on clothes. Now you're going to lose weight. I'm still working on my trainer. I'm supposed to be doing a marathon run for I do the turkey trot in Austin in December. And Thanksgiving Day, the turkey trot. But it might not happen. We might do the half. We might do the 13. We might do the tiny turkey trot. We might do the baby ones. But yeah, it's 3 suits, 3 unique colors, tops and the bottoms, get it switched up. And so that's kind of where we are with it. Oh, interesting. Okay, I don't know where you are, but corporate relocations are awesome. They pay for it all and you don't have to pack. Listen, so here's a thing many people don't know, and part of my breaking into tech group I'm going to probably discuss this week. These companies will pay you a start bonus. And when you get your offer, when you get your job offer from these tech companies, you just simply reply back, "Oh, I reviewed the packet before you sign, and I didn't see the start on bonus. Do you guys have it in the budget for a start bonus?" And again, there's many different ways they word this. They call it a hiring bonus. They call it a onboarding bonus. It depends on which company you are. Good luck. Look up the word they usually use there for their company. But yeah, some companies have up to $4,000. This one lady got 30 grand because she had to move from DC to Texas. So she got a moving and a hiring bonus. Yeah, these companies, they pay because it's so hard to get qualified people. And so many people feel like, oh, well, it's a recession and it's not going to be that great. Nah, we have one dude who left from Dale to another company and he got a $90,000 increase in pay. So he was getting paid $90,000 less at Dale for the same exact job. So when I tell people are like, oh, I don't want to get stuck at the help desk. After 6 months, you should already be applying to the next, go on to the next and ask for more money when you get there. So either the company's going to match you or not. What's up, Ericka? Just finished my Pinterest post. Congratulations. I'm telling you, Pinterest be just sticking and moving. And you can see with Pinterest, it asked you before you pin that post, didn't it ask you, did you want to promote that pin? I'm going to say do the first 100 pins free, organic. And then I'm going to say start testing them things. Hey, Ericka, I'm excited about the digital real estate course. I would love to come on one of your events. Yeah, so I think literally, I have some partnership events. So it's not just my event, it's a partnership deal. But most of them are going to be next year, right? We're trying to lock in the spot for Afrotech. I think we have it. We'll find out later this week. And then I'll promote that. That'll be absolutely free event because it's Afrotech. It's going to be jumping everywhere. So just getting people to get out of the spot to get there is going to be crazy. But it'll be down the street from where all the stuff is going on. And then we have a big event January and a big event in April. And I think a big one in February because in March, it'll be my big birthday and I'll be either in Zanzibar or Croatia. So we're still trying to, because I'm thinking Zanzibar, Dubai. And then, or Croatia, a little bit of Italy, little combo nation there. You know what I mean? But I'm really feeling the Zanzibar ideal. Zanzibar, Dubai. Let me see here. Okay. Teo, yes, to skilled blue collar. We are severely lacking in that area, and our counterpart ethnicities are doubling down on. Yes, I want you to understand, like when I talk about the data, and I talk about, you see all these people coming across this border, and I tell you every time, mark my word on this stuff. In about 3 years, when they talk about, oh my God, the housing must crash. Why won't the housing crash? We are low on inventory. And then what you're going to see in 2 years, many of these people will have enough tax returns and paycheck stubs to qualify for a house. Now, truth be told, you can qualify for a house with 1 year's tax returns because of certain mortgage programs. Again, there's over 5,000 mortgage programs in America. So when people sit here and act like, oh, these immigrants coming in, I'm like, they got an ITIN number, they can buy a house. And Trump literally, oh God, not Trump, my bad. Biden literally just blanket gave up 472,000 visas to Venezuelans. We don't even know who all these people are coming across the border, but he's already allotted 472,000. And before this is all said and done, if Kamala could have her way, she said she wanted 500,000 Indian workers to come across with HB1 visas. India is waiting on the border to open up. Trust and believe. So it is what it is. Your family watches your page. Yeah, listen. Okay, so part of why I brought that up about my family, I've been doing this testing on Facebook where I will put something, controversial, which is usually me. And today I put, I'm going to do very Texas things next year. I'm going to put $50,000 into a rodeo bull because you make money off every time he impregnates a cow, and you make money off when he goes to the rodeos, and it's a whole thing. And you get to name the bull. It's weird. But and then I'm gonna put 26,000 into oil rigs. Now I'm gonna do more than that because I've told you all that on this channel. I'm gonna do more than that, but I just posted that on Facebook today. Now, at first, I didn't get that many likes and I didn't get that many comments. One of the comments was like, hey, I want to learn how to do that. And I said, well, just send me a DM. I'm driving. I'm on my way to Houston. I'm busy. Now, here's the funny thing. At that time, I didn't have that many likes, but I go to my Facebook DMs and there's 100 messages. And part of me that gets so angry about that is some hater rated shit. That's you being a hoe, like the damn show stuff. When you see a post, you like the content, you had to read it, and then you had to read her comment and read my reply. You had to click on my reply and read it. And instead of you and all that interaction liking the post, you send a DM to me. That drives me absolutely crazy, because when you know how this internet runs off algorithm, when you know how it runs off data, that drives me crazy. You're being a hoe. Click the like button. It's free, right? It's so free. And so this is why I'm big on this coming year, the next 6 months, is like get people on those email lists. If they want the information, they got to get on the list. Bump just giving people free information because they're not going to do anything with it, but also because they're disrespecting your time. They're disrespecting your craft. Don't be a hoe like the damn show. It's too easy. It's too easy. You got 10, like even when I watch these people with big shows, they've got 115,000 watchers and 2,000 likes. Like, come on, dude. It's ridiculous. It's just one of those things. And so I've been doing these little things on Facebook because I know people are nosy and they'll be like, oh, man, hey, what's that thing? Oh, did you like it? That's the first thing I'm gonna say in all these messages because I haven't responded to any of them. I'm gonna be like, did you like the post? Oh, you didn't? I can't send it to you. I'm gonna be a brat because I just know what Facebook is doing, and that there are people who have 10,000 followers, and those people literally get checks from Facebook for their content. But I got people being a hoe and they won't like the post. I don't like that at all. At all. And that's why I'm just like, I literally, even now, when I have these links for this $7 to freedom, this affiliate marketing, we literally have people. I mean, I can see the metrics. We have 8,000 people who've hit the link. So you're being nosy. You hit it. And then I can see the conversion rate. So it's those things are funny to me. I don't know where it comes from, but people are weird. I learned from Diamond Day before the automatic course changed my life. Like, screenshot this. Screenshot this, somebody. And send it to me on Instagram. I'll give you a free 15-minute call if you screenshot this and send it to me. The first 5 people, because y'all might get crazy with it. Here, I'm going to get out the video. Screenshot it. Screenshot it without my face and send it to me, and I'll give you a free 15-minute call. 15-minute call, first 5 people. Instagram. There you go. We're going to send that for Diamond Dave. Because I'm big on giving people their props. Okay. Algorithm app, deep learning application that utilizes a time series equation, probably ARM. Probably I'd have to go back and watch it to make sure I have the right data. And I will be gladly to tell y'all this. I share this stuff. You know why I share this stuff? Because 90% of people aren't going to do anything with it. And the people that do something with it, they come back and call me and thank me. And I'm always grateful for it. Yup. Dang, y'all already texted me. I see it. I'm going to honor what I said. First 5 people, they get the 15-minute link and we'll book a call in this week. Ben Mala for sure. And that's part of like when people say, why am I so focused on these businesses and growing this stuff is the end game is 4 to 5 million at 10% returns, but it's also creating these companies so my nephews see it so easy. It's really not hard. Okay, let me see. I'm running ads while on IG and with no success, not sure where to go from there. So I would hop into some of these Facebook teaching groups. On Facebook, I would hop into, who does a great one? Jabril. Jabril used to have a Facebook group. I don't know if it's still up. And they would review your ad and tell you what you're missing. Same thing with Alice Becker. I'm still in Alice Becker group. And they will review your ad. If you come in there and say, this is my ads, this is what I'm running, this is my demographic, I would change my demographic. I'd change a lot of I would change it. But they would review it. I mean, it was so powerful that there was like 500 people paying like $250 a month to be in here. And people say 250, that's crazy, but 250 and you turn around and have a successful campaign that makes you 50,000 next month, that ain't no money. So, all right. George G said a lot of people ain't confident that their business will earn money when they're not in the age of easy money. So, part of that comes from the employee mindset of, because people could be entrepreneurs, which you're at a company and you're basically running the company for the boss. So you're technically a boss, but what David Bettenham call an entrepreneur. And there's a lot of people that are like that, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just get into a company where you can be the entrepreneur, right? Apply for some of these CFO positions, these COO positions, where you're the chief operations guy. Then you're basically running the show. You're just not the boss. That's a totally thing you can do there. Part of that fear comes from people have been trained. I spend an hour doing something, I deserve to be, compensated $20, $30, whatever their time is worth. It's very employee mindset. Like, I did this thing for a month, Ericka, and I didn't make all this money. And again, like I said in my yesterday's show, I'm doing it until. Right? I see people making $50 million a year off YouTube via a product or service from having a YouTube channel, right? They were showing a woman who she has multiple children that she's adopted. So she's got twin daughters. I think they're white. She's got a black daughter and an Asian daughter. And she was doing these hairstyles on the children's hair to show that you can do these hairstyles on any type of hair. Well, she partnered with a company for like lotions and stuff. And that company made $20 million. It ended up like her twin daughters started a YouTube channel, has 7 million followers. Some of this stuff becomes very repetitive and very boring business. Now, when it comes to blue collar or a service business, the lucky thing about service businesses, you can start them for so cheap, right? You're really just buying, if you want to go hypothetical, you're buying a service van. If you go back and watch our old Michael Steve video, you're buying a service van for like $3,000. You're putting out Facebook ads for service calls. You're paying for the gas, the company gas in the service vehicle for the guys to go run around and do what they got to do. And then you're getting paid, right? And people say, easy money. I totally understand what they're saying. But a lot of companies still offer financing for repairs. This is why interest rates are important. What a big thing I see next year is installation. I see a big thing of installation and people shoring up their homes against the rising cost of electricity and energy. And so that which I see a bunch of people, because I would driving past car lots, I'm seeing a bunch of cars, and I feel like if the gas gets to $7 all across the United States, everybody's driving a car. Tesla wins, EV cars win, little Mazdas win, little hatchbacks win. There's a lot of things. You just have to be paying attention to the market. Again, the 9 to 18 months before this happened, what happened? Our money supply is kind of shrinking. This is happening. And so when people say they're afraid of a business, again, it's just, what's the metrics of the business? What type of business? Some things are just autopilot. I mean, I've been to so many trainings that are like $200-$300, and I'm certified on stuff that I'm like, oh my God. And really, they know if you got you and one other guy in a van, you guys are going to make $1 million this year. That's just the projected numbers if you do X amount of houses a year, which most will do. Okay, he said, so affiliate marketing would be the way to go in my situation. I don't know. I don't really know you. I don't know your situation. Affiliate marketing is one of those things where you're already online all day talking about products and services. You're talking about Starbucks. You're talking about Target. You're talking about Lululemon. You're talking about Peloton. You're talking about, right now it's football season. So people are talking about grills and tacos and parts they put with their grill and certain chairs they sit at their kids' soccer games in. You're already marketing all day long. Why not learn the structured way to make it more systematic and you make money? It's a $7 training, and most of the training is going to show you majority of what you need. And I think they have a second thing that's like affiliate marketing secrets. But even in the email list, if you sign up to the email list, I keep throwing in companies. Every couple of days, I just throw in a list of companies like, oh yeah, this company gives affiliate, this company, insurance companies, banks, credit cards. You literally could make a post and say, oh my God, y'all, I got this great credit card, Capital One, and it's just so great. Boom, boom, here's my link. And people are going to be underneath the comments asking you about your affiliate. But what do you think about, what do you like about Capital One? Prime example, I started a Facebook group about breaking into tech. It is at 12,800 people in under 2 months. Like we're right at the we're like at the 9-week mark. It's only been 9 weeks and this thing's at 12,000. I already know this thing's going to get up to probably 50,000 if I keep pushing it for a year. And my goal is just to get 1,000 to 3,000 people to buy the affiliate marketing I have with my tech partnerships. And that will make me $500,000. Let me say that again. I created a free Facebook group on something people like and want to know more about is breaking into tech. And regardless of all the craziness going on in there, I have an assistant helping. I'm going to have another one coming up soon. It's at 12,000 people in under 9 weeks. By the end of next year, it'll probably be at 50,000 people because I'm looking at the numbers of other Facebook groups about tech. And I'm in Austin. And I'm literally between my partnerships with my affiliate marketing partnerships with other tech people, whether that's course careers, level careers, the tech people you see come on my Tech Tuesday shows. I'm going to make, if 1,000, just out of a 50,000 Facebook group, just 1,000 to 3,000 people buy certain products and services, I will make $500,000. And so when I talk about affiliate marketing, I don't just talk about it, I be about it. And I sit here and telling you, like, take that training, let it give you some structure, because I could tell you one way and people are like, well, Ericka, I didn't hear this part, or I didn't understand that part. That's why I always recommend other companies. Like there's a girl who creates courses and she teaches you how to put a course together. Now I teach you how to put courses together, but sometimes people are like, Ericka, you're just doing it by the fly. I need this data or that data point. No problem. I will literally recommend any other product or service as long as I'm getting cut off of it and let you go that route. And that is affiliate marketing. It's very simple. If you're my digital real estate course, which is still on sale till like midnight, I guess midnight tonight. I think the algorithm has it turned off at midnight. I can maybe West Coast time. I don't know. You literally in the class, I teach you about opening up Facebook groups. The October 12th training is on affiliate marketing, and that's a live training. October 19th live training is the update on how Facebooks have been going for me. And I think the November something training is on Facebook groups again, right? Like we're just updating stuff. But I want y'all to understand, like, y'all are overcomplicating that. Because even if you start a media company is just 4 things. It's literally, whatever the platform is you choose to promote, but it's literally coaching and consulting, events and masterminds. Third one is literally digital products that you create, that's what I was trying to show y'all, because the camera's got the weird thing on it. So my planners I have back here. Number 4 is affiliate marketing. Because no matter the product or service, if you got makeup or you got healthcare, you're describing things that can help with that. So anyways, I'm just going to keep rolling. I didn't mean to go to a tangent there, Jaquez. But yes, that's affiliate marketing. France been on fire for what, 10 months? Yeah, France be wow. Thank you, Pepe Le Pew. Oh no, that's the cat. That's the duck. A lot of pouting about to be serving, a whole bunch. I went to Canada for the first time in 1987. I don't smoke, but my friends were paying $10 a pack of cigarettes. I wouldn't even smoke that week. I'd be a wrap. I'm good. I'd quit smoking that week. I wish I would have asked that. I could have moved from Louisville, Kentucky to Raleigh, North Carolina. I wish I had the money to relocate myself then. Yeah, when you get your next review package, or you get an offer, or you get a raise, like counter your raise, of course. But you can ask for stuff. But once you already start with the company, it's kind of hard to ask for it. But even when you're starting with some of these tech companies and they offer you the office supply, like, oh, we got $500 to help you set up your office, I would insist ask for $1,000 to $2,000. You say I need a even better computer, unless you're going to provide me the computer. If you're starting over tomorrow in business, what would you get into immediately and grind at to make money at a low threshold? Previously, you suggested a signing agent. Yes, mobile notary is good. You can create a whole national mobile notary like agency. Andre Hatchett showed you how to do it nationwide, and you're not even filling any of those jobs. Other people are filling the jobs out for you, but that's a whole nother conversation. You can check out his course. I'll put it in the community wall again. If I had to start all over, man, it would be something like, because I started with the painting. Like many people don't remember, but I had a painting company with my friend, and it was one of the easiest things we've ever done. Instead of painting, I would have started just with fences. because Texas is so big on like the dogs and people just their fence fall down. You could drive around all morning and find fences that are falling down. It would be fencing or it would be like duckware. And when I mean duckware, I mean like people suffer from bad allergies. It's really cedar fever, but you can market to them, hey, we can clean the ducts out of your house, right? Like your allergies are bad because your ducts are dusty. Or let's say I didn't have a ton of money. I'm like, those air vent dryers, we can clean your air vents, like like all that stuff is a service business that people kind of glaze over and think everybody knows how to clean their own vents. No, they don't. Oh, I can watch it on YouTube and do it. No, people don't do that. Y'all give people so much credit. People will tell you they're tired, they're out of time, they tired. They'll just pay you to do it. So a cleaning company or anything, an easy service business like duct cleaning, that's what I would do. And I would run Facebook ads because people, there's so many new homes they're moving to Texas, or there's homes that are being remodeled and they feel dusty because of all the construction work that just got done in them. So you come in there and go, hey, did your house just get remodeled? You need to clean your ducts out. That's why your children got the asthma. You know what I mean? So that's something easy I would do. Digital real estate would be where I would start again. I would just talk about pets because I'm in Austin. Another thing I would do would be pets. Like, this is so terrible, but I would literally walk around the parks in Austin and I would either pet the pets or I'd take pictures of my phones of the different types of pets running around the park and playing, and talk about how, film like 5-10 minute clips of pets at the park running around because people take them off the leash and run around. And then I would have products and services. See how healthy the coat on this dog looks? I think his owner told me he takes this. Now somebody gonna say, Ericka, that's lying. You didn't talk to the owner. You don't know that. You don't know I didn't talk to the owner and said that they use this for their pet. You know what I mean? Or this type of dog food, or this type of dog chain, or this type of dog. Because people go crazy about pets. I mean, they go insane about pets. So that's just something. So I try to use another job prospect to get my current company to pay more, but they paid less. You got a good luck. Good luck. Yeah, I'm going to try. Smart Money Chick, I'm going to see if we can get that locked in that space. Yeah, there's no boat party this year. There's none. If we do boat party, we always do it in the hottest ass year, which is August, which is ridiculous, but we do it because that's easier to do. It's easier to do. We just have so many things we're changing and aligning out here, and we were in a different situation, and it didn't make sense. Coming through at Alphatech. All right. Well, I mean, as soon as I get the location locked in, then I can do it. Right. I can do it. I'll be promoting it on here. But that's, I mean, I have literally like 20 events. My last 20 before March 19th or something to next year. And like my last one in April. I'll put it this way. You're going to want to come to the April one. So that's all. Just came back from Croatia for a wedding this past summer. Didn't know what to expect, and I love the place. Needed to say I'm biased. I actually remember. Listen, Croatia's been on my list for years. I was going to do a 2-month hideaway in Croatia. Start at the bottom, go to the top, go to Budapest, and go to Hungary, and then go to Romania. But, the conflict broke out, and everybody's like, no, don't go. The danger. So. Listen, the rodeo thing, look, John, I'm telling you, like, you pay $50K for the cow, man. You go $50K for the bull, and then whatever the bull is producing, you make money off of it. So yeah, here's the thing. And people get really, people act like they're secretly watching pages. Like, I have a friend who's married, and at the time he said his wife was acting crazy. And I'm like, no, your wife's not acting crazy. You did something for her to act crazy. People don't just start acting crazy out of nowhere. And so he's like, yeah, you're right. So yeah, that's some hoe shit, man. Hoe shit. I wonder if YouTube or Facebook will ever do away with the likes and just keep the views and organic reach part of the algorithm. They will. 500 times 1,000. You already know. You already know what time it is. You dig what I'm saying? You already know. It's called breaking into tech. Thank you so much, Brandy. Thanks for explaining that. I live in new construction and thought I developed allergies. It's dusty. Listen, honey, it's the best thing you ever do if you live here in Austin and there's a bunch of construction down the street from your house. Please go pay $99. That's how cheap it is out here. There's whole little duck companies that I would love to just start. It's like $99. Clean your ducks. And the guys can go around doing that all day, right? In the same neighborhood. Because here's what happens. they see the van outside your house and they there for like 30 minutes and they done and they going up out that mug and you feel better, right? It's paid, bills paid, and going about their day. Your neighbors see it, they be nosy, and then you doing the whole neighborhood because that's just how they go. And then that person runs ads. Like, let's say I'm gonna just tell you a little secret. They come to your house, they got your address. Neighbors are being nosy. They see them. They run a Facebook ad for the 5-mile radius of your house. So your neighbors who was being nosy already saw that. And then they're going to be on Facebook and all of a sudden they're going to get the same ad. They're like, oh my God, that's the company. And they're going to click the button and schedule themselves an appointment thinking this whole time this company just happened to be marketing and I found it. No, baby, they did the 5-mile radius on you from Miss Journey to Jasmine's apartment or house, you know? And so this is a whole technique, but that's a whole nother conversation. A year ago, you spoke on young white men not going to college and going to construction and manufacturing. You're so right. I'm telling you, my nephew is not doing college. He's like, I got the lawn care company. I'm trying to get him to, go to Michael Steed or some other people get handyman services. I'm trying to convince him like, you can run another company. But, he's 18. I want him to be able to travel a little bit and feel himself, whatever, so however that will go. 100% almost got carpet cleaning because they were at my neighbor's house and you know what I'm saying? Neighbors just be nosy. One of my neighbors asked, she comes out to talk to whoever's doing whatever at our house. Yes. That's how they make so much money in business. That's how they make a ton of money. Your neighbors are naturally nosy. And if you getting your ducts clean, then I need to get mine clean. And if you're getting your house painted, then I need to get my house painted. And if you're getting your fixes fit, then I need to get mine fixed. And if you getting your grass cut by this lawn care store, I need to get mine cut. And it's kind of this mental keeping up with the Joneses, but also people sometimes don't know where they need to be going in life. And they don't know if they're behind. So they start paying attention, looking at their neighbor, if that makes sense. So, but that's what I have for y'all today. Again, click the link, share the show, click the like button. This is more information on the affiliate marketing email list. This is also the 7-day challenge. I took the 7-day challenge. Why did I take it? Because change is good. Adjusting what you think you know is good. They have Facebook training, Google ads training. They have other trainings. But literally, if you're on that email list, you will see every couple of days, and I'll send one out tomorrow. I throw a list. Like our VAs come up with lists every day of affiliate marketing programs that you can sign up for free. Liberty Mutual, all kind of insurance companies, different people. Every day we find something and we send it to you because we know, let's say you talk about the storm and like, hey, Liberty Mutual did all this for me. If you guys want to check out quotes from Liberty Mutual, here, click my link. They're being really friendly this month or whatever. However you mark up your conversation, and people will do that. Because again, your neighbors are nosy and people on Facebook are nosy. It is what it is. So thank you, Nia, for the $5 super chat here. And also thanks, Hope to Inspired. Let me make sure I read that right. A Hope Inspired. Thank you for the $25. We will have tacos on you tomorrow. Thanks. I appreciate it. What else? Did I miss anything else? Everything works everywhere. So what it's working for, it'll work everywhere. Sorry, you guys. This is your girl, Ericka Classic Line Blog. It is late at night. You guys have a wonderful night. And I'll be leaving Houston probably sometime tomorrow. Later.